What's going on? Welcome to another episode of The Creation Grounds. I'm your host, Aaron Lloyd, and this is episode 48. Before I get into our next guest, I want to encourage you to like, share, subscribe, tell people about this podcast that you think will be inspired by it, motivated, entertained, and all of that. Maybe perhaps get some value that they can apply to their own lives and careers. My next guest is a Baltimore native. Her name is Ronnetta Renay. She's funny, and she's the host on AMC's Walking Dead's Twitch channel. She has a background in marketing and communication, so in this episode, she's going to share with you some of her tips on how you can market yourself better as an actor in the business, how you can develop and nurture your brand, how you can nurture relationships around you. In this episode, she gives some advice on what she would give actors coming out of high school or college as they go into the real world, some advice for them. She talks to us about her latest hosting gig and some exciting things that she has coming on in the future. You're going to love Ronnetta. She's going to give some great value in this episode. Enjoy this episode with Ronnetta Renay. What's up, Creation Grounds? I have the talented Ronnetta Renay, Be More Native, with me for the Creation Grounds. What's up, Ron?
Hello. What's up, Aaron? I'm excited to be here.
What it do? Tell me about the day you wanted a career in the arts.
Oh my goodness. Let me see. So I've always been like the outgoing, over the top kid, making skits, making up dances with my cousins back when I was younger. I used to have like my own little fake show. My uncle used to have one of those huge like video cameras he used to have on his shoulder, right? And I used to be like, this is the Ronnetta show. So I always was like, wanting to do things, but and had a super active imagination. But it wasn't until I was actually in college, right? Because I always knew I wanted to do TV. So I was actually like a communications major in college. So I was like, I want to be like a VJ. I want to like do this personality stuff. But I ended up auditioning for my first play, right? Like I've been on stages and stuff, but I never actually like auditioned or did a play. It was the piano lesson. I was a freshman. I got on stage, I auditioned for the smallest role, which was, I think, Grace. And I just was like, listen, you've been saying you can do this, but can you really? So I was like, I'm going to do this. I feel like God was like, do this audition. So I get up on stage. It felt like a movie, too. I'm going to just tell you. I literally got on stage with the role. I performed. I feel like I blacked out. And I killed it. Blacked out in like a positive way. Like I blacked out and like killed it.
You was in the
zone.
I
was like, I was in the zone. Like
you was in it.
zone, okay? And I got the part, and I felt at home on that stage. I was always like, bubbly personality. I used to perform poetry in like high school and stuff, but like this felt different. I felt like I am home. Whatever this is, I'm home here. So like it was kind of like, it was literally like somebody wrote it like, and then when Ronnetta walked on the stage, it was like really like my life story, like playing out in real life, kind of like my movie. So
it's like that. You saw Soul, the Jamie Foxx joint. It's like he was in that. Did you see Soul yet?
I didn't see it yet, but
okay.
I definitely want to see it.
All right, but you're gonna know what I'm talking about when you see it. It's good.
But I understand. I saw like the clip or whatever, so it's like you like
when he was in the zone, he was there.
Mhm.
What's been the biggest challenge in your career, and what have you learned from it?
The biggest challenge. Okay, I feel like the biggest challenge is just keeping going, right? Keep pressing forward, especially when nobody can see what you can see. And being able to kind of like push through and still thrive in spite of that, knowing who you are, knowing whose you are. Because I feel like when I started out, forever, I ain't going to say how many years, but a billion years ago, when I was about to move to New York, everybody was like, at first everybody was like, oh, this is cool, Ronnetta, all right, are you sure? Are you sure is this what you want to do? Because I've been acting in Baltimore, but I really wanted to, I felt like I was led to take that leap. But then a couple years in, people started being like, well, Ronnetta, how long you going to be pursuing this acting thing? Well, are you sure? And it's just like people that love you. I had to not take that personal and understand these people are just people that want what's best for you, and this is what they think is best. You could look at it as like they don't understand and they're against me and they don't, but or you could see like people are just operating with whatever resources they have. And what they want is for their loved one to be safe and secure. And if they see you struggling, see you grinding, even though, that's the nature of you pushing and propelling towards your purpose, you just have to have some grace to the people that don't get it. So I would say, sometimes that can be lonely until you find your tribe of like-minded people that are on a similar journey as you and get it. So I would just say that, like, keep pushing forward, dealing with real life things, money, loss, and even like, losing my mom and her passing away and me still wanting to continue and pursue this and coming back to, and like really never leaving, but just still propelling forward in spite of what you're dealing with, because to me, it's about purpose. It's about using your gifts and aligning with the overall picture of why you're here. And the arts are just a vehicle for me to be able to get towards my purpose. So I don't know. That's my long-winded answer to.
I love that. Love that. A lot of perseverance and resiliency and grit in that. And what's something that you love that other people either don't love or like, really, Juan? You like that? You love that? What is that? It could be a movie, a song, just something, a fruit, whatever it is.
I don't know. This one kind of stumped me because I feel like the things I like other people like traveling, good food. I mean, I'm a big foodie, but I'm also like a healthy foodie now. So it's like I'm all about plant-based. So people be like, Ryan, but what do you? I mean, think I feel like now more people are being healthy, but I'm like, ain't nothing like a fresh squeezed green juice. I just like about it.
The or green juice.
I don't like weird stuff. I don't like stuff that tastes crazy. But let me see, I'll give one out of a couple categories. So I think a lot of healthy things that people shun, because I know how to cook and I know how to make things taste good. So people will be like, ew, I would never drink that. And I'm like, let me make it for you. I just had some matter of fact, I'm literally drinking celery juice right now. Unless I love it downstairs.
What kind of juice do you got? Juice. I just got a new juicer. What kind of juice do you got?
I have the Breville. I want a new one though. I have a Breville fountain, a Breville fountain. So I was running away from the celery juice, right? Because I'm like, ugh, I hate celery. I love the green, but I hate the way the celery tastes. But then I saw somebody instead of cutting it, peeling the lemon, you juice the whole lemon.
The lemon.
And elevate the whole joint. So you juice a whole bunch of celery, but then you put a actual slice up a whole lemon and just throw that joint in there, and then it makes it palatable and actually, because celery juice is one of the best things you could drink.
Yeah.
For your mind, for your cognition. So now that's what I've been on. I've been on this celery kick. So I'll say that. And
that's dope.
What kind of juice did you get?
I have the Omega one. It's dope. I just got it last week.
It's the best one, but to me, I wanted one also that was a little bit more because the Omega, the shoots are so small. So it's the best one, but the shoot's small. So I'm probably about to buy another one, but I'm in a Vitamix. I think I'm in a Vitamix. I'm a super I'm a geek when it comes to that. Oh yes, I need one of the Vitamix. Yes, because you gotta listen. Health is wealth, man. We gotta take care of our bodies.
I feel that. Cheers. If I had celery juice, I'll be putting mine up too. So you have a background in marketing. You mentioned earlier that you went to college for communications, always wanted to be in TV, and you're really good and dope at marketing. So what did you learn in that field specifically that you utilize in your acting career today?
Well, yeah, so even before I moved to New York, my first real job, quote unquote, I feel when I say a real job was I worked in advertising. I had a radio station. And so I just learned a lot, very quickly. I learned a lot about change and being able to adapt. I just learned, tons of stuff. But also throughout my career, I also worked in sales and then, sales, marketing, all of that stuff. I was a brand ambassador. I've managed teams. So what it all, I think, boils down to is how you make people feel, right? The value that you add to them and if you're serving their needs. Right? Relationship is everything. So I always try to connect with people naturally and organically, whether it's on my social, on my show, in the audition room. It's all about adding value and operating from a needs-based position. Because one thing I learned through this great sales training I did at, I won't even shout them out, but at the radio station I worked for back in the day.
They fired you or something like that?
Huh?
Did they fire you or something? You can't get a shout
No,
out?
they didn't. I mean, it was Clear Channel, but I worked for a gospel radio station.
Okay, bet.
I was just saying, and training I got from them like carried me through everything because it was like a needs-based sales structure. Like stop focusing on your product, focus on the needs of the person in front of you. So I kind of carry that over. Like if you're adding value, like it's not always about telling people like, oh, watch me on this or do that or come support me. It's about really connecting with your audience, engaging on your, if you're doing, even using social. It's about engaging, putting content that's important to you, but also will help other people. And I think like that's really what it boils down to. It's all about needs based. It's about understanding your audience and also understanding yourself, operating from a place of authenticity and in relationships. Whether I'm in an audition room or I'm on social media, I'm always just trying to like connect with people because that's what lasts. That's what gets you to roll. You might not book it today, but that relationship that you establish from being such an amazing business person or artist will carry you. And I think that has been my saving grace in life and in the industry. It's just relationships, being a good person, and understanding like sometimes it's bigger than what's in front of you, right? It's bigger than the role. It's bigger than the job, the gig, whatever it is. It could be just making somebody feel good for the moment because that's more value than focusing on the money.
Love that. So in Harlem, I saw you play Mom's Mabley, which was amazing. That was a great performance. Now, take me back to like your earliest memory of a character that you've created. It could be like in your sketch comedy or just like a legit kind of drama. But what's the earliest memory for Ronnetta that you created?
Oh my God, I don't like that was okay. So y'all know, like I'm just character. Like I love character work. That's like my secret. Or like, dang, like if I can transform, like that's what it's about for me. I definitely used to have imaginary friends when I was a kid. Okay, like we was like, cause I was the only child at the time. Like now I have a brother, but like for the first 9 years I was the only child. So like I was in there like playing with my imaginary twin and like my imaginary friend is Henry and the gang. I don't know. Like so I always had like a crazy overactive imagination. But I'll tell you like one of the best characters, or like I don't know if I'll say best, but I was a teenager, right? And me and my best friend were playing around. Me and her used to always have inside jokes, like makeup stuff. Like, that's just what we did. But I remember one day we were in the house playing and just hanging out. We was teens. And I started doing this character named Ruby. And she was like this old lady, like former prostitute. Mm-hmm. So random. I don't even know how we got here, okay? And so she was like somehow interviewing me like, oh, well, how did you get in the game? I had a voice. When I tell you, I got lost in that voice to the point that I became Ruby. Like, we went to the mall, and I was like, listen here, but it was like her voice, after a while, my voice changed. And I got stuck in the character a little bit, and I understood the power of this transformation of embodying a character, not just doing a voice, not just a story, but embodying this person. It scared me a little bit, but it also was like me tapping into my superpower. Because I was like, oh, wow. Like, obviously, I wasn't that serious. So I was 5 days being Miss Ruby. But, it was such a powerful moment to me because it just showed me like, wow, like, you can really go deep on these characters because it's more to them than just what's on the surface. And that was the best probably acting training I could have ever, had just from that organic experience. And it was cool. And a lot of these older lady characters and Mom's Mabley, because I played so many of those type of characters, probably were birthed from Miss Ruby in that moment. So, it's kind of my little, a lot of people don't know about that story, but yeah, that's like.
You still do Ruby too, or you do some kind of like, I've seen some on some of your social, you do some character. Is that Ruby?
Oh, probably. I just do all, I do all the old ladies for fun. That's why I try not to do as many old ladies because they like I'm probably really I'm like an old soul. Or like I'm really low key an old lady at heart. But no, that's evangelist.
There she is.
The evangelist, son. Listen here, Lord, the God's gonna keep you safe now. You just have to listen and lean in.
Lean in.
Lean in to the word. That's all. That's that. Yeah, that's Sister Patterson. That's just a fact. But I've done so many of those characters, like the old man, like all those characters. I just, that's what I want to get back to more of that because it brings me so much joy. Like it really, really does.
So you play these characters. If somebody and you have a career of your own, one day in the future, if an actress could perform a biopic of your life, who would you want it to be and why?
Oh my goodness. These questions. I don't know. Like, that's a hard one. If it's not me, maybe. Well, like, long gone. I don't know. Well, I say this. I always feel like, as far as characters that I look up to or actresses that I look up to, like, I love Taraji just because I feel like we have a similar story and background and energy, right? But I don't know if I would pick, like, to play me, but somebody, who played, oh, I think her name is, I hope I don't butcher her name, Agiona Alexis. She played Young Cookie on Empire. And I really love her energy and vibe. I love Keke Palmer. But I think, what's her name? China Ann McClain. She's
Mm.
on Black Lightning. She played Jennifer Pierce on there, House of Pain, Disney, all that. Um, like, any of them, I think would be great if I wanted to pick somebody that's already in the industry with a big name. I would pick China because I feel like we're very similar, right? She has this ability to be kind of like tender and kind and small, but she can turn up on you too. And she has a power and energy about her where she's a natural born leader. That's why I love this character that she plays on Black Lightning. This young woman going into her power, with these superpowers, and she's from this, well-to-do family, but she's still on the roof trying to sneak and smoke a little, marijuana. Like, she doing, and I feel like she has all these layers, and I think, like, that's who I am. I'm a person with many, many layers, from the business side to the silly side to, don't get it twisted, I'm really from Baltimore side, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, or Baltimore,
Yep.
listen, it's like a whole. So I'm all these things. Like, you got the Sister Patterson in there. The spiritual element. Like, so I'm all these things. So I think, like, she actually would be probably, like, a really, really good fit to play me, or some unknown actress, really from Baltimore, and we could just surround them with, like, a star-studded cast. Like, that would be cool too. To give somebody like a young, like, somebody that I identify with their journey. I want to get them an opportunity. You know what I mean? So either or. That's
That's
what I
dope.
think.
What do you love most about sketch comedy?
Sketch comedy. I don't know. I just love transforming into characters, right? I love immersing into a totally different world. I love making people laugh. And I love being, like, so unrecognizable that people don't know it's me. Like, that's my favorite thing. Like, if I do a character or something, I like to, like, I've done, like, shows where I've been, like, two extreme opposites of myself, and, like, I come out at the end and people don't know, like, I was that person. Or even when I play Mom's Mabley, and then I
Mm-hmm.
take on, come out of my costume, and they be like, wait, you play Mom's? Like, wait, what? So just that, being able to tell these stories in a humorous way and make people laugh and just escape, reality for a little bit of a moment. And I like to talk about, like, real things in sketch, but make them funny. Like, that's, like, one of my favorite things to do too. So.
So let's kind of go back to marketing a little bit for an actor or anybody that's listening. What can they do? What kind of three practical tips that they can do to up level their marketing? You mentioned, like, just add value in an authentic way, engage, nurture relationships. But what are three practical things they can do? And those might be the practical tips. But do you have anything else?
Okay. Be on brand, right? What's your brand? I think as an actor, the number one thing you gotta know is, what is your brand? Like, who are you? I think it's important to understand it's a split to this, right? Is who you feel like you are and how everybody sees you, right? So you have to figure out a way to balance those two things, figure out what you're trying to present at the moment. And it's not to say, like, I'm many things, right? But, you got to figure out, okay, right now, this is the brand. I'm kind of like, for example, my brand is, right now, it used to be, it's kind of like changing, you know, because I want to go for more like before, when I was doing more commercial and stuff. I'm the black lady in the office. I'm the boss. I'm the marketing director, right? I'm the fun, friend that's also business minded. I'm the one that's gonna tell you like it is. So you might see me in, like, a colorful blazer and some jeans, right? So when I take my pictures, when I go out, when I audition, that's the look I'm giving, right? Because that's what I'm going for. That's my brand. It could be, your teacher. It could be, but just be aware of these things, put your pictures out there. And I think, Aaron, you did this as well. Ask people, like, oh, who do I look like? Like, 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 what do you see? What roles do you see me playing with this picture? Because you need to know how people see you.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing we come with all these talents and gifts and all of this, but you have to be able to balance both. So figure out what your brand is, and that's something I learned. And forgive me, his name escapes me, but I went on a workshop in LA, and one of the speakers, he's an actor, and that was one of the things he really pushed. So Ronnetta didn't make up the brand, but it was something I take. I'm always trying to learn, so it's something I took, and I've been able to incorporate it in my marketing as an actor because it translates a little different. So definitely be on brand. What is your brand? Know your brand. Know what you're presenting. Understand your photographer understands that when you're taking new headshots, and make sure your social media conveys that. And then when you go in the room, you can bring all these, you can be multiple things. Just you have to have a clear line and understanding of what those multiple things are. You feel me? So I would say number one would be on brand, know your brand. Number two, maybe make your marketing materials clean, clear, and streamlined, right? So whatever it is, just make it clean and clear. Like one of my friends had to get on me. She was really successful. She's a stylist, and she does everything. Like she's dope, but she was really successful with her social media. So she started to give me tips, and she was saying your social media is too convoluted. You got to think about even your social, or when you go in the room, or your pictures. Like this is what people see when they see you. This is your resume. This is your calling card. So when they go to your page, if you're presenting yourself, it shouldn't be everybody else on your page. So she helped me understand, but I have all of these ideas and other parts of me that are more than just me, the actress. So I put all my Ronnetta Renay acting stuff on my actual grid on let's say for instance Instagram, but in my story where it's 24 hours, I can do all that other stuff. That's other parts of me. So that helped me clean up my page. I had to delete hundreds of pictures, and she was like, "You still ain't deleted now." So
she was coming.
It's still getting better. I'm not saying I'm the authority on this. I'm just sharing with you guys some of the things I've learned from other people and I've implemented into trying to grow my brand and make my marketing a little bit better. So that's what I say: clean, clear, and streamline for whatever it is. Whether it's your website, definitely have a website. Whether it's I used to, even when I first moved to New York, I was like, you got to be Googleable, right? Back in the day, I was like, you got to be Googleable. That was my big thing. So I made these little fake blog sites, and I had started it back then. I understood the importance and the shift of the internet and how that affects the industry. So definitely clean, clear, streamline. Know what you're presenting. Know your brand. When people come to your page, they should know what you do, who you are. And then consistency and content creation. I always say it's things in this business, things you control and things you don't control. I always tell the people. So the things that you control, that you don't control, are auditions, right? You just can show up, do your best, that's it. Agents, managers, backing things, all you can do is network and put yourself in a position to get in the room. And when you get in the room, kill the opportunity. Those are things that's out of your control. Once you do that, it goes off and people make decisions. But the things you do control is your content, networking with people, creating your own stories, doing sketches, all those things. You have to be doing both in the industry. You got to be doing both. And I'm talking to myself too, because we're in this climate, but you can put your phone up and you could just record some videos. You could do it. You could do whatever you want in your home or wherever you are. Go outside, go to a park, sit. You could do some things just by yourself or with the people in your house, right? So we're still safe and doing it responsibly. But consistency and creating your own content and being consistent. And I try to stay on myself about that. The consistency piece is I'm like, oh, Ronnetta, you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. So those are my three things. Be on brand, know your brand. Make sure your marketing materials are clean, clear, and streamlined. And then consistency, and make sure you're creating your own content.
What play, character, or writing project has given you the most joy to write, and why?
Oh, that's interesting. You know what? I always go to this, but it's my favorite thing. My Uncle Hubert sketch, right? So I did a sketch where I played this old man, like an old man. And the way this idea came to be is we were brainstorming, and I was sitting and I was like, yo, what if, those truth commercials when people want to stop smoking, they're telling you stop smoking, don't smoke, I've been smoking cigarettes, and they'd be like, not to, I didn't want to make fun of that because that's a serious issue. But I was like, what if there was this man and he didn't care that he was dying from smoking? So it's this whole thing. And I was like, what does that look like? So I transformed into this old man, Uncle Hubert. He's like, yeah, I've been smoking cigarettes for 45 years. And that's his whole thing. Like, he just is this old man, but he living his life, and he don't care. And he like, look, I had a good life. I don't care what you say. And it's just to bring a little light, but also awareness. And it was so funny because my mom, God rest her soul, when I showed her, she thought I was coming after her about smoking shit.
That's funny.
So convicted.
She felt
it.
away.
Like, is this about me? And I was like, no, man, it's just a sketch. Like, she was like, she thought it was a song. I was like, she loved it though. She like thought it was hilarious. So like, so yeah, that sketch I like wrote, directed, starred in. So it was like the first project I took ownership over from conception to completion. And I had a team that, you know, helped me out, of course. And, like, you know, because I had started this like little group where we were doing like sketches and just working together. So I would say Uncle Hubert is on YouTube somewhere with like, you know, 5 views or something. A couple views. No, it's one, but it's like, I love it. It's my favorite thing to date. Like, it was fun. And I definitely want to do more of that type of stuff. Because it was like,
what advice would you give a smart, driven college or high school student about to enter the real world of acting? And what advice should they ignore?
Just start acting. Sketch, improv classes, start getting on a stage. Like, start recording yourself. Start creating content. Network. The best way, the biggest thing, and you know, as much as you can in the climate that we're in. But like, to me, like, that's the key. You just got to start doing stuff, right? And always, you know, be in classes, always be learning, always be networking. You know, now the beauty, here's the thing. People can look at it like this. Oh, the industry is shut down. People are doing a lot. You know, things are happening. But because it's mostly virtual, I find I'm able to do more than I was doing before, in a way. Some things are shut down, but it's all in how you look at it. So I would say, you know, always find an opportunity. I'm one of the people, like, if it was like 100 no's, I'm going to find the one yes. Find the one opportunity, the silver lining. And let me see, and what to ignore. I just feel like this. I absorb everything. I pay attention to everything, but I say, taking everything like with a grain of salt, as the saying goes, right? Everybody's journey is different. So take what you can and then file it or discard the rest. So anything I come in contact with, I say, is this something I can use? If it is, I use it. If it's something that I feel like has value, but I don't know if it's me, then I file it away. You know, I file it away for later. And then if it's something that I feel like is completely not in line with what I'm doing, I just discard it and keep it moving. Don't hold on to it. I try not to. You know, I'm a tourist, so I tend to hold on. But I try to be intentional about letting things go, right, and not get caught up, which is all a process. So that's what I would say. I would say just start acting, just start doing it. And, you know, people saying like, oh, you ignore people like, oh, you got to do it this way. You got to do it that way. Everybody's journey is different. So you just absorb and you learn and you figure out what's your lane, what's your path, and you do that. Key into your gifts, key into your purpose, and let that guide you. That's it. And have fun. And make sure you love it, because you can't survive in this industry if you're just trying to like do it just because or be famous or for the wrong reasons, because it'll eat you up and spit you out. You're not doing it for the right reasons and understand where your lines are. Like, that's important. Know who you are, know what you're willing to do, and know why you're doing it. That's like the main thing.
Love that. What book have you gifted the most in the past year? In 2020, or, I mean, 2021 has just started, but what book have you gifted the most between now and last year?
Probably Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I always give that to people.
Yeah, Kiyosaki.
I always send it. Yeah, because it's like, it's a mindset shift. Some things you can't tell people. They have to come to on their own. And I feel like, now, who reads it? I don't know. But it's my responsibility to give it to you and put your foot in the door, whether it's digital, whether it's physical copy. Yeah, that I always give that out, because I don't care what industry you're in. That mindset shift is everything. You know, and people can't always receive things from you. So you have to me, I'm not so focused on you getting it from me, you giving me credit. I care that you get it. So however you get it, I feel like you plant seeds in people and you just, you know, hope and pray, and that when their journey helps them align with it and that seed can grow, that's the best thing you can do for people. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Let's talk about The Walking Dead and this last gig that you have, this TV hosting thing that you have on Twitch. Talk to me about your latest hosting gig for AMC and what that's about.
Yeah, so universe on Twitch. So this is an AMC virtual show that I host where we talk. It's hosted on Twitch, but it is with AMC and The Walking Dead. Super awesome. Like, it was really like intense casting process. But it was so worth it. I love The Walking Dead. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. And so on our channel, and definitely follow it, we talk about all things The Walking Dead, but we have breakout shows. So we stream live, like when new episodes come out. We have shows where we talk about like horror in different genres. It's fun. It's interactive. I do a show called Character Collision, where I merge like, okay, the Walking Dead characters with characters from other universes, right? So I've done like Star Trek, I've done The Simpsons. We're gonna be doing like X-Men and like all these different genres of like these similarities and crossovers. So it's taking this one thing that we all love, The Walking Dead, and expanding on it and creating like a cool, fun, safe space for fans to hang out, and it's super dope. I love it. I love being a part of the community. So yeah, like, and in the midst of, in spite of everything that's going on, I'm immensely thankful to be still working in the industry, doing what I love. Y'all know I like to talk, so it's like the perfect fit. If I'm not acting, I'm talking to somebody, probably talking to head on, or doing the opposite, where I just go days and days where I like not talking to nobody. So but it's a perfect fit for me. So I love it.
That's dope. What do you believe about The Walking Dead that a lot of people don't? I know you have some co-hosts and you guys have some disagreements sometimes, but what do you believe about that universe that other people don't?
I mean, well, first of all, I love the universe. I saw, the show's been out at this point over 10 years now. It is, to me, one of the best shows on television because it has spin-offs and everything. So it's so much going on in the universe. But, they were one of the first shows that started just like killing off main characters. We were losing children early on. It was like crazy. Like, television was not doing this back then. So they were, pioneers in that sense. And like, they were able to take something that was usually slapsticky. Because I'm like not a big horror fan or zombie fan. I just like good stuff. So like, my brother had to convince me to watch it. And I was like, it sounds dumb to me. But then when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is something different. This is not a show about zombies. This is a show about people, experiences, how to survive, like, and so that's what drew me to it. Now, one thing I believe about the show, like, I used to be a big Glenn fan, and I try not to give too many spoilers.
Everybody was a Glenn. Glenn. Everybody loved Glenn.
Oh, I love Glenn, right? So Glenn was my favorite. So, spoiler alert, Glenn passes away at the hands of someone. Now, listen, Negan is my favorite character. This is the run at a hot take. So it's very controversial that I love Negan, because, spoiler alert, if y'all ain't seen it by now, but so it's like, how can I fall in love with the very character that killed my own favorite character? But I love, like, I'm like, wait, Jeffrey Dean Morgan has been able to do with that character, and how, like, I love a redeemed villain, right? Mm-hmm. I love a villain story, a rise, and like, rise of a demon. I keep saying it, I mean a villain. Oh my Lord.
You need sister. What's her name?
Listen, I need Sister Patterson because you need to purge. Yeah. Oh, don't stop, sister. Sorry, Sister Patterson. All right, now just go and tell your story now. Go and tell your story. I'm here. All right, Sister Patterson. So it's like, so anyway, so yeah, I love Negan. That's my hot take. That a lot of people are like. Some people are like, what? Yeah, I love Negan. He's one of my favorite characters. And also Alpha, who's like, how could you like Alpha? She's like, Lydia, my Lydia. I don't know how far you got to Walking Dead, but she's like, only because I love playing, like, those are like my dream roles, right? The villain that goes on a journey, or like the character that everybody kind of like hates, because I'm so bubbly and light, so I love playing those like dark characters sometimes, because it's fun. It's fun to me, to deep dive into like all that stuff. So yeah, I would say that I love Negan and Alpha. That's what people like, what?
What are you working on next, or what do you desire to work on next?
Well, I booked a little hot take for this like a sketch comedy show that's coming out that I'm super excited about. Keep you posted. Mm-hmm. Can't give all the details yet, but I'm super excited about that. That's going to be a really dope opportunity for you to play a character on this show that's going to be big show that's going to be coming out. So I'm excited about that. I'm really like getting in the final stages of launching my own little podcast, I think. And and I started kind of like soft pitching that and like saying, you know, what exactly I want to do called Let's Get Into It, where I talk about all these things, wellness, entertainment, like life, abundance, like what are you dealing with? So just a place people can hang out. So definitely I want you to come on and hang out with me, Aaron, when I get that up and going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing a TV pilot. So I'm going to be finishing up my accountability partner's on me. So I'll be finishing up that. It's like a sitcom about a girl who's like, it's inspired by my life, but not completely about my life. It's like she's trying to balance her, you know, her trying to be successful and like failing at it with her also trying to balance her mental health. Because she starts to see things and she's trying to figure out like what is going on. So it's this like world where all these serious things come to play in a humorous and fun and engaging way. So that's the script or writing. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, like those are the things coming up. So I'm super busy. I'm super busy working on tons of things, still auditioning, still I'm writing. That's just one of the projects I'm writing. And yeah.
I love that.
Got a lot going on. So I'll keep you posted about that gig I just booked.
Please, I'm excited. First time I'm hearing about this, so I'm looking forward to hearing about that behind the scenes.
It's dope. Yes, and then we'll come back and I'll like give a follow up about it. But it's like it's so dope. I'll tell y'all when I can tell y'all more. But it's a little welcome. But for me, it's a big deal. Knowing if you know anything about me and how I feel about sketch comedy and the big shows that are on, like then you'll know why it's a big deal to me. So.
Respect. When you think of the word creative, who comes to mind for you and why?
Creative. Wow. Oh no. Eddie Murphy, Regina King, Issa Rae, Prince.
Did you see One Night in Miami? You said Regina King.
I did not.
Oh,
I know I gotta watch it. I know I have to watch it.
Yeah, those actors body those roles too. They did a great job.
Heard. I'm probably gonna watch it today. Definitely in the next 2 days because I know I've been meaning to. So I'm gonna definitely jump into that. But I'm excited for it. But I think of like, I love Eddie Murphy. I always say, hey, I run it every day. I'm like a sprinkle of I got like the tenacity and intensity of a Taraji with the flexibility and creative style of a Regina King with a sprinkle of Eddie Murphy on top. Like that's me.
I love it.
Like all these. So these are some of like the people I look at like Prince and these people that like I love somebody that can go across different areas of art. That's what creative means to me. Like when I think of these people. But there's just some when I think of them, like, yeah, definitely Eddie Murphy, definitely Regina King. I love that I relate to her a lot because she has such a huge range, not just in the characters that she plays, but the things that she's able to do, write, direct. She produces, she acts, she does voiceover. What she did with the Boondocks. Like these are all things in like a journey and path that I think mine will not be the same as, but definitely mirror. So I love every time I see her in something. Being something new, something different, and just killing it in everything, it always inspires me. So,
how can people connect with you? I know you're on Clubhouse. I don't have the iPhone, so I'm barred from that. But I love my Droid, so I'm gonna have to get the iPad.
You be coming over. Listen, I love a Droid too, but I'm just telling you, it's on. Like I love Clubhouse. It's so many great things happening on there. So I'm definitely on Clubhouse. You guys can follow me on there at Ronnetta Renay. I'm at Ronnetta Renay on all social. IG, you can definitely find me at Ronnetta Renay on IG. It's 2 N's, 2 T's, Renay, Ronnetta Renay. So on IG, you can follow me, RonnettaRenay.com, on Twitter as well. Everything, Ronnetta Renay. So definitely follow me on any of those platforms. On Clubhouse, I actually do like a wellness, wealth, and entertainment that I just started. That's my Let's Get Into It, kind of starting it there. So yeah, come check me out, come follow me, definitely DM me on Instagram if you have any questions about how to get your career to the next level. I'm no expert, but anything that I have learned that I can help somebody else with, I'm totally willing to help you and share with you. And even if I don't have the answer, I'll try to direct you to somebody or something that I think does. So, but yeah, definitely network with me, connect with me. And another tidbit, make sure you're engaging on your post on IG and stuff. So like when people comment, say, oh, thank you. It boosts your and also a hack I've been doing other reels, right? Because Instagram wants to compete with little boost. So where you would normally post a video, you know, I love the reels because you can post the reel and it can still exist and you can just pull it off of your grid so it doesn't throw off like your brand or what you're trying to present. It could just be like a one-off thing. So definitely leverage and use those as well. Like, again, I ain't no expert, but these are things just to show you I'm constantly absorbing, learning, and growing. So follow me on my socials, Ronnetta Renay. That's RONETTARENAY on everything.
Be more Ronnetta.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.